throat, so I'll have to apologise because I feel sick on the way here. Must be an Indian symptom. I'll definitely keep this pretty short. I work for the Department of Health, which is running lots of programmes regionally. Our main problems are that older people's services do not accommodate for the older people's conditions, probably on the preventative side as well as on the acute side when their need is the highest. One of the things that we struggle with is in the government, although we send out targets, we give funding, the boroughs, the councils who we work with don't actually do what we ask them to do. I'll give you a quick example. If you could all stand up, if you don't mind. Could you all stand up? Put your arms in the air. Okay, I did that for two reasons. One, to wake you up, because half the people look like they're sleeping. And the other reason is you actually did what I asked you to do. But the government struggles getting councils who they actually give the money to do their actual job. So I'll apologise for asking you to do that. I work with 33 councils, and there are 3 to 4 areas that we concentrate on the most. One is frailty and fallers, medicines management, learning disability, and physical disability. The boroughs, I think, main weak point is their data capture. They don't know who has what condition and what services are around there so they can help go to them, either if it's a GP practice or if it's the hospital, A&E, or whether it's social care. We go through integrated care pathways now, so we have clinicians, doctors, consultants, and health workers who work as a team in identifying a person's support plan and need. They tap into a monitoring and response centre, which is where our assistive technology, telecare, and telemedicine works. So we have teams who monitor the calls, the amount of triggers that are activated, and they pass that information back to the clinicians and the consultants. So the teams are going through a period where they're trying to provide more services with less funding. The other thing that we're trying to do is to create an online portal tool which is being paid for by the government, which helps people actually self-assess their need as well. And where they need clinician or practitioner expertise, the clinician and the practitioners will be involved by the social care team who receive the information. The other thing that we're working through, and we have been working through for over a year, is actually like something we've called a balanced scorecard. What we struggle with is people at the top say they want to do this, we agreed to do this for this amount of population for an X amount of money, and that doesn't happen. So what we do is we get them to sign up to an agreement, all parties involved, so it's the hospital, primary care, GPs, social workers, and even voluntary organisations and charities. We also look at their strategy and their vision. We help them adopt a business case and a business plan and set themselves targets. The one thing that they lack a lot on is on governance structures as well, and the governance structures need to have clinicians involved earlier rather than later. We also are working now with people who are substantive and critical in need and seeing how we can support them more. So the telemedicine area for London is a lot weaker. With the telecare, we have people who are also at their end of life or who are struggling through cancer, who also have these devices that they press. So we're not very technology focused, as like who do we go to? We would rather lots of suppliers say, what do you have? What does it look like? How easy is it to use? Because as people get older, they don't use mobile phones that much. They don't use anything that requires 1 or 2 taps on it. We've been working through the programme for about a year, and what we found is that probably about half of the boroughs we worked with understand everything. Now there's a huge agenda push to market what they actually provide so that clinicians can also refer people on. It's very, very different to how India works. What we're trying to do is learn from India, because if India can move on with telemedicine, why can't London do that or the UK do that? But telemedicine is one area where I think UK could benefit more from. We also have to struggle through product awareness, what technology is good, so people don't star rate I'm going to call it star rate. This product is very good for dementia, or this type of product is not good for dementia. So I think that knowledge base has to be shared amongst other providers as well. And then people can actually develop their products to suit the client's needs, which is what I think tends to be an obstacle in the older people's population. What we're finding is that we are now trying to work with European partners, but we haven't gone across to Asia or anywhere like that. So I think this is probably the first time that somebody from the government probably has come over here at the same time, because Nigel Crisp, who obviously gave a presentation this morning, has been working with the government for a long time. They probably have seen it gone through a lot of change. We also have monitoring being done by telehealth providers themselves. So what people are learning is it's not just about the product. Actually, it's more beneficial to have the right teams there who can then go out, and if someone has fallen, can do an assist to lift. They're working with the ambulance services as well. We have roughly 6,000 calls per month in London relating to anybody who's 65 plus in the age group, which is obviously a lot of calls for London Ambulance to deal with per month. So we're trying to work with falls teams and work with falls clinics and the syncope clinics to actually look at what the other comorbidities may be, which then trigger a fall. I'd just like to thank you all for sitting there patiently and listening and actually getting up as well. I've kept it quite short because, like I said, I've got a very bad throat. And that's it, really.
Thank you. Are there any questions?
I would...
No, I think...
Yeah, you have some question? Yeah.
So when governments like, what you said, thinking about telemedicine, in your mind, what percentage of your budget is being allocated now to initiative like this compared to the traditional health?
We have like 33 councils in London, so I can only share the information on the 33. They tend to have about 40% or 50% of their total budget is spent on social care, so for the elderly services. How much of that goes into telecare is probably less than 2-3 million per borough. So it's not that much.
Okay, thank you, Surjit.